Don't go.
Welcome to the Vinny Rock Podcast.
I took the blows and did it my way.
It's time. The Vinny Rock Podcast.
What's up? It's the Vinny Rock Podcast. I've been on top of my game this week. Hey, I got another podcast for you. Tobiaz Ambriz. This dude wrote a book, and he is dope as fuck. He's actually been helping me a lot with some veteran stuff. We partnered up, and he is a badass when it comes to creating. Sean wrote a book called Ghost of the Valley. I think you should check it out. It's going to be dope. You guys get to hear a little bit about it in our podcast. But before that, let's get to our sponsors. I'm going to start with someone a little different this time. I always start with Core Medical, but we'll jump back to them later. I love the fact that you guys always hit up my sponsors because they deserve it, and you deserve to get the what you deserve. Fuck. Here we go. Either way. Modern Gun School. Go to @moderngunschool on Instagram. You can check it out, or you can go to www.mgs.edu. Modern Gun School is a distance learning armor school. You can use your VA benefits, you can use your VOC rehab, and you can do it from your own home. COVID-free. Armor School. How about that? I think you guys should try it. If you have your VA benefits, you ain't doing nothing with it. Why the fuck not? Learn how to fuck with your guns. I think it's a dope-ass program. You guys should check it out. I've heard good things. I've had several guys jump on board and say, hey, this is pretty cool. So if you guys are interested, go check out Modern Gun School. Barry Law. PTSDlawyers.com/Rocco. You can hear my story. PTSDlawyers.com. You can go check it out. Hit me up if you need that. If that link didn't work for you, I'll send you another link. But you let them know Rocco sent you because you want to get your VA benefits squared away. Because you want to get what you believe you deserve. Because you have many, many years of back pay and you need someone to be an advocate for you. I'd go to Barry Law. Those are all veterans who are running that place, who are making it happen, who care about you. Trust me, I know them. If you guys have questions about that, I did a podcast with John Barry. You can check it out as well. Don't forget to hit them up. Let them know I sent you. GMR Gold. How's your gold looking now, suckers? Silver and gold, precious metals are looking real good right now. I got a ton of it, and I'm excited about that. If I needed to sell, I would be winning. You guys can check it out. It's a good time for the family. I just got a box at the house yesterday. Haven't opened it up because we had football practice. But today when I get home, I'm going to open it up and check out what's new and have some fun with it. You guys hit up GMR Gold or Bullion Box. Bullion Box is subscription based. It's $100, $200, $300 worth of precious metals sent your way every month. I don't know about you, but I really, really enjoy this subscription model. You guys go check them out. You let them know I sent you. Willie Pete's Chocolate. I just had a guy say, dude, I tried one of his chocolates and it effed me up. It was so hot. You guys got to try it, man. Willie Pete's Chocolates. All right, if they're local to you, order it however you want to. This is a dude who makes a chocolate out of his own home. I just love seeing hardworking people do their thing, and especially this is a veteran, so I'm going to support this guy all day, every day. Beyond Clothing. Oh, I'm excited because the winter's coming. I'm excited because the multi-layered systems that Beyond Clothing makes is perfect for this time. I'm just getting into more camping, more hiking, and there's no other place I'd rather be than being suited up from head to toe with Beyond Clothing. You guys check them out. You know promo code is Rocco. Hit them up. Core Medical Group. Core Medical Group is a testosterone replacement, hormone replacement company that'll do telemedicine. They will do your blood anywhere you're living, any city. You just go to a LabCorp, get your blood work done. They will do the readings. The doctor will inform you on what you need to get yourself back to homeostasis, to get yourself back balanced in what you should be, feeling good again, feeling like you want to make love again, feeling like you're not depressed again. Trust me, these are all the symptoms of someone who has low T. you guys are sitting there thinking, I'm just not feeling myself anymore. I'm not feeling it. I'm not motivated. I don't recover as fast. You probably want to go check your testosterone levels. Oh, yeah. Don't even forget, you already know they have erectile dysfunction medications. Again, that's a market that needs to be spoken more. That's a market that people are embarrassed to talk about. I'm not. If you guys are interested, they have it. What's up? It's my boy Sean Ambriz with me today. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about his life and what's going on and some of the future projects, and him also partnering up with me in veteran and doing some fucking dope ass shit for the veteran community. First off, my biggest question to you is, I see you wear a lot of LA shit. What's up with that?
All the time. I'm from LA, man.
Are you from where at?
Like 20 minutes south of downtown LA, like Redondo Beach area.
Are you really from Redondo, bro? Bro, I spent my summers there all the fucking time, dog.
Yeah, out of here. Are you serious? I asked her. I went to high school. Bro.
I'm a beach bum, dog. Like, anytime I had a chance to go down to the beaches, I would. It's it's not very common for the guys that I grew up with or the area that I grew up in. I grew up in San Fernando, bro.
Oh, okay.
So I went to LA Valley Community College, and then I got kicked out of that baseball team for some stupid incident. And then I jumped into Glendale Community College, where I played my second year of college ball. We went to the Junior College World Series against Riverside. It's fucking awesome. We got second place. We lost to those motherfuckers. But that year they had like 10 dudes get drafted. It was a fucking awesome team to play against. And then after that season, I got into another little issue that kind of took me out of Southern California. I went into Chico State and played for a summer team out there called the Chico Sticks, and had a really good season. Then I got a full ride to an NAIA college in Kentucky. So I grew up in LA.
Damn, I didn't know that.
I grew up in San Fernando, yeah. So the San Fernando Valleys were like, the Northridge Mall. Mm-hmm. I was a store manager for Champ Sports, and then and if you know the Beverly Center, I was a store manager for that store as well at one point.
Damn, that's crazy. Small world.
No shit. And I was curious, man, because I always see where LA. Yeah. I usually always wear LA, but here's the problem.
You're Utah now.
I'm Utah now, right? Yeah, and I'm actually trying to commit to that. So I got rid of my Lakers shit, and I have.
Oh, that hurts.
I know. My dad's the same, bro. He's like, really? Look, man, I grew up with fucking Magic Johnson on my wall, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that was my poster. You know, kids have posters and shit. I had Magic Johnson. My brother had Michael Jordan, and it was like. I'm a Laker fan for sure, and I was there from the great times, but I felt like if my heart had to move. But that'll never stop me from being a Dodger fan. Like, I'm a baseball guy first, right? So Dodgers, that's my fucking team. And then I think if you grew up in LA like me, you know that we've always had this weird, what team do you go for in football? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the team? You know, it could either be, you could be a diehard just stay Raider.
Yeah.
You could be a Rams fan now. You could be a who the fuck knows anyone else because our teams can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Chargers, right? And so it's this funny thing where our football team really depends on like how you were raised and who you decided to just say fuck it, that's my team. You know what I mean? Because me growing up, I had all the bandwagon fucking Dallas fans, the Cowboy fans, bro. I fucking hated those dudes. I still hate Cowboy fans. I don't know why, bro. I lived in Texas for a minute, and I swear to you, everyone's a fucking Cowboy fan. And when they win, they fucking are excited. When they lose, they're fucking excited. It's the weirdest. Fuck those fans. Those are not good fans. Bro.
Oh shit.
Do you have a football team? Like, I don't watch a lot of football, but do you have a football team?
Yeah, I don't watch football as much anymore. I used to when I played it growing up, and then baseball, obviously. But I've been into basketball a lot, just because I loved Kobe and stuff growing up. But yeah, I guess I kind of stuck with the Rams. My dad was the old Los Angeles Raiders, so I grew up wearing the Raiders stuff. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. With LA, we're just very loyal people. So like, the Los Angeles Shitbirds, that's our team. So.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny is I moved to Arizona after the military, and I had all my LA shit. And Arizona has a lot of LA transplants, like because of cost of living. They've shifted into Arizona, and you can just live better, right?
My dad just moved there actually from LA.
No way, where at?
It's like 20 minutes from.
I bet he lives by my fucking parents.
What's the casino?
There's one casino in Maricopa. In Maricopa, there's a casino out there.
What's the strip though? Not Vegas. The other like mini area.
No idea.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah. He lives over there. It's like on the border of Cali and Arizona.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little further from my parents, but dude, Arizona is where it's at. If you're gonna like retire, if you're gonna try and get your money to spread farther, you know, you're gonna go to Arizona, and we have a ton of LA people there. So after the military, I went there. Then I went to Texas, and now I'm here in Utah.
Yeah.
But I work half the time in LA. So, but enough about me. Yeah. Fuck me. I'm nobody. Just kind of cool. I saw the LA shit. I had to see what's up. But Sean, tell me about you, man. We'll talk about your book after. Something cool about the book is that I don't know if there's too many books on the military police and the side that saw combat, right? And that's an interesting space that I knew about it, but we'll talk about that after. Let's get the people to know who you are and what's up.
I don't really have anything crazy. I didn't grow up. I'm like your typical brown guy from LA. There's nothing crazy. There's no big secret. I grew up a normal family, divorced parents at 12. I had great step parents. I didn't have a crazy background. Nothing that really pushed me to the military to be, you know, like some type of leader. I'd never filled leadership roles growing up. I was maybe like a co-captain, but you know, played football, did track. Like I said, just typical. No, nothing crazy in my life. Very quiet kid growing up in LA.
Did you surf?
Yeah, boogie board. I'm
a boogie board dude too, man. And I'm gonna go learn surfing this as soon as I get to LA.
It's hard,
bro. I imagine it is, and plus I'm fat now, so who knows? You know, who knows?
I got bad knees. I can't get up on that shit.
I'm gonna be bodyboarding. So did you join the military after high school?
Well, sort of. I did like a semester of community college. I played for El Camino. College. Yeah, I played a semester at Elko with Coach Featherstone. We won a conference championship.
Bro, wait, how old are you? Real quick, because now this is getting really crazy. How old are you?
I'll be 32 in October.
Okay, cool. So there was a quarterback that went there. His name's Boomer. Quarterback for what? Boomer was a good buddy of mine. Boomer is a good buddy of mine. Yeah, and he's probably 5 years before you or 6 years before you. He's a well-known quarterback. Yeah, stud dude.
But Elko was winning championships then before I came, so I knew the players and we heard of them and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Boomer as a quarterback is a really good buddy of mine still to this day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so. That's why it's funny because we it's very similar stomping grounds. Mm-hmm. I'm 39 years old, so just to know the difference between ages, but still same era. Yeah, you're closer to my wife is probably 2 years older than you, so it's funny because in our conversation she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Man, you're just in that gap of not understanding my jokes sometimes." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my wife too. My wife's 38, so she's older than me.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. It was smart you did that, dude. Smart you did that. All right. So, but so you did your 1 semester or your 1 year junior college, played football. Didn't work out or what? Was it academics? Was it injuries? Didn't love it.
I just didn't. No, it was like classroom. I just did not want to be a part of the classroom. I just got done with 4 years of high school. I was like, dude, I'm done. Like, it's not what I want to do. I've always had an interest in the military. Like, I used to, grow up playing Army in the backyard with my cousins and. Yep. But it never clicked. It never was like, oh, I gotta serve my country. But
anyone in your family?
My grandpa served in Korea, but that's about it. My uncle was a SWAT team's. He was on a SWAT team in Redlands, and then he was a pilot for the SWAT team. Nice.
So you saw a little bit, but you never were ingrained. My life, my dad was a Marine. My dad was a Marine, but nothing cool, right? Like he did like fucking. I don't know. He was on the tarmac, fucking directing traffic type shit. Like he just joined to fucking not go to prison, right? He got in trouble, some bullshit, right? Yeah. And my dad, I knew he was military, but I didn't understand anything about the military. My grandfather was military. He fucking got kicked out for medical conditions. My uncle was military. He got kicked out for fucking drug. My other uncle was in. He got kicked. Like nobody in my family actually fucking did it, right? Besides my dad, who I believe he got out early as well for some fucking reason, right? So, and I think it was, I don't know, family, like his father or some shit happened, right? Yeah. So raised by my dad, I understood military, but I wasn't sure if my dad was just a dick or the military he's training me like a soldier. Yeah. Or a Marine, whatever the fuck, right? Later on, I figured it's kind of both. You know what I mean? But I never wanted the military because of him. Yeah. I was like, if that's the military, fuck that. I'm good. Yeah. Nothing. No. So what is it that motivated you?
I don't know. Like I said, I just didn't want to do the classroom anymore. And I was like, you know what? I'll entertain it. I'll go down to the recruiting office and see what they have to say. And I was like any other douchebag, 19 or 18-year-old kid. I was like, I'll do 5 years. I'll come back. I'll do LAPD, just to say I served, like everyone says
plan,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
I said, I'll play college ball and then I'll go be a cop.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yeah, that's what I'll do. And first I went down to the Marine recruiting office, and this dude was like, he was very aggressive in his approach. And he was calling me every day for like 2 weeks at 6 a.m. He's like, so why are you being a pussy? Why aren't you joining yet? I'm
no. Are you serious?
This is the height of the war, though. Like, shit was popping off in Iraq. It was before the surge.
Give me a year. Give me a year time frame.
I joined 2008. So this is late 2007.
2008, dude. So crazy. Okay.
So he was like trying to get people. He's like, you gonna fucking join or not? And I was like,
yeah. So by 2000, those who listen, 2007, 2000, you already had the decline of people. At one point when I was in, it took 8 months to get in because it was everybody was trying to join. Bro, 2003. This is the heart of it, dog. Everyone's like, I'm in. So we had people just storming the doors just to get in that motherfucker. They didn't give a shit. They didn't need to meet quotas. They had quotas. People showed up. Mm-hmm. 2007, 2000, I think it started to slow down a little, and they had to be more aggressive because we've had an influx from 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6 started to slow down, 7 slowing down. So now, they're like, all right, we need to keep the ball rolling on motherfuckers. Because the war's done. The war didn't stop. You know what I mean? People just stopped. The patriotic side of things after 9/11 slowed down.
Yep.
At 2007, 2000, people forgot we were still at war.
Yeah.
They were like, we've been, talking about war since 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see why the recruiter would be like fucking fired up and say, hey, motherfucker, let's go.
Yeah. So
and you're probably in good shape too, dude. You're in good shape. They always see that. The guys who are athletes, like, we want that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was just a little too aggressive for me, and I was like, "Well, let me see what the Army has to say." I went down. I had a cook recruiter, so that motherfucker was badass. He was trying to pitch everything. He was very upfront in his approach, and he told me what I wanted to hear. Yeah, he was super cool about it, and of course, he gave me the pitch. Oh, you want to be a cop? Why don't you be an MP? And I was like, he's like, no, you could definitely see some combat still, but you get a little bit of handcuffs, a little bit of explosives. Mm-hmm. I had no idea, and only thing I ever wanted to be was a fucking ranger. That's it. But no. Yeah. Dude, no one tells you that MPs can't be Rangers. I know. You're oblivious, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that," and then I'll go to Ranger school or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah,
just get through basic. We'll figure that out later."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So I was like, I fell for it, like everyone else, and I didn't realize how much MPs were hated. But
my god, bro! Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know any of this, but it just seemed really fucking cool. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I did it, and it worked out though.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And so you're currently on year what for your military career?
I just hit year 12 in February, so nice. 12 and a half ish.
Cool. I joined in 2003 when I did the delayed entry program, and bro, I hated my recruiter. I hated him. I thought he was a fucking nerd, and it bothered me, dude. Because my perception of the military is everyone's an athlete and badass.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is fucking completely not true.
It's 1%. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Very few percenters like athletes. So I remember the first little function we did where it was delayed entry program freaking gathering. They had a volleyball court and a basketball court. So let's go play volleyball. And I'm watching these dudes these uncoordinated motherfuckers. Whoa, what the fuck am I doing here? Then we played basketball, and I was like, all right, I don't know if this is for me because these dudes are fucking whacked, bro. And it's because my life has been basketball, football, basketball, baseball, my whole life.
Yeah.
I could pick up any fucking sport and feel really comfortable. I'm fucking athletic. I was fucking, I had hand-eye coordination, and these dudes couldn't fucking hit a volleyball, bro. And I was like, what the fuck am I about to do here, dude? If I join the military, is everyone going to be this uncoordinated? It was fucking scary.
Yeah.
I had the same thing with the Marine recruiter. I asked him, because they're telling me all these bonuses are possible. I'm like, look, I got 4 years of college, no degree, but 4 years of college, fucking, I don't need the fucking military. I was going to go back to LA because I was in Kentucky at the time. I was going to go back to LA and start applying for cop. My dad's a firefighter, so I already did my EMT course. I was planning on doing that. When I was 18, I fucking had the LA City Fire Department fucking written test. I passed it, and I missed my oral exam for a college fucking playoff game.
Damn.
Yeah.
And those are my dad's locked in.
I was locked in, but those were my dad's friends. Yeah. My dad's like, look, Vinny, we're going to study, and I was like, no, I'm good. Just dumb kid shit. I'm good. Baseball. And so the recruiter, I remember I said, hey, the Marine recruiter, I was like, my dad's a Marine, thought it'd make him proud. You know, I'm like, fuck it. My dad would be happy. I said, so what kind of bonuses do you have? And he said, the bonus is being a Marine. And I was like, fuck this, dude. Fuck this guy. So I fucking left, dude. But yeah, dude, you know, we all have those weird fucking deals. So I'll tell you, man, an MP in the military, I mean, like everyone else, you hate the MP when you're not in country. When you're on base, MPs are public enemy number one, dude.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because they're doing their job. And us in the military, us guys who are that are not in an MP unit are just kind of douchey at times and think we're above the law. Ranger Battalion, we were assholes. We were assholes, bro.
I was at JBLM. I know second battle there. Yeah.
We were assholes, bro. I remember running from them and driving into our compound and then getting out of the car. I'm like, fuck you, dude. You're in our compound. Get the fuck out. Like, we would do stupid shit, man. And it's just like, I started to hear about, you know, convoy security and MPs getting that gig overseas. And look, I can be a fucking smartass and say Ranger Battalion has the dopest mission in the world. Us and Delta and several other special operations units have the coolest missions in the world. But you forget about the scariest missions out there. And you forget about that and you don't respect those 88 mics, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a fucking scary ass job. But also, who's pulling security for those 88 mics who are doing long convoy security, convoys to drop off the important shit to guys like me and other fucking units out there, and the whole way terrified out of their fucking minds whether you're going to get blown up or you're going to watch your buddy get blown up to the front and to the rear. You know what I mean? And I don't know why. You know, maybe it's just the way Ranger Battalion raised us, and led you to believe that we are the coolest fucking thing. And you know, at the time, I think it's important to go to war and believing you're the baddest motherfucker on the block. But then later on, if you can't see through that and realize the truth is, as we all need everyone in that, right? The support units, the fucking MP units, the fucking cooks, everyone has a place at war. It's just ignorant not to fucking appreciate that, you know? And I started to I thought 88 Mike was like the dumbest job in the world. Like, why the fuck would I want to drive, dude? Like, fuck that shit. But then it is one of the most important assets you can have at combat is someone who can bring you the shit that you fucking need. And then not let alone, they're not trained to pull security for themselves. Who gets that job? It was the MPs.
Yeah.
You guys had a lot of those fucking missions. And I'm not sure exactly your mission yet, right? We're going to talk, but I know that mission alone, I started being like, well, that's a good mission for MPs because they're not just gate guarding. They're not just, you know, doing weird MP shit, I don't know, overseas. But no, they're legit in the mission. You know what I mean? Like, you get ambushed, who else is going to fight? The fucking idiot Mikes get very little training in shooting. They have fucking pretty much black powder muskets. You know what I mean? Like, these dudes aren't prepared for that. Yeah. And it started early on in the war was MPs who took that role. And it's fucking beautiful, dude.
Yeah, so surprisingly, I've never been in a patrol. For my first 6 years, I was never in a patrol vehicle. Never even saw the inside of one. I was just deployment, and trained for deployment. And so I was getting pulled over more than I think regular infantry dudes. MPs love to fuck over each other MPs to get other companies in trouble.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's weird world of fucking pissing contest.
Yeah. So I've never wrote a ticket. I've never pulled anyone over. When I was at JBLM 2 years ago as a platoon sergeant, that was like the only time I really worked the road. And as a E7 platoon sergeant, you're not really working the road. I'm the duty officer. So
you're kind of facilitating all your team.
Yeah, essentially, I'm in charge of when the installation commander's at home. I'm in charge of the installation. If something pops off, I have to make decisions. That's essentially it. And like the most closest I ever got to pulling someone over was I saw some guy blow through a red light on JBLM, almost hitting a pregnant lady trying to cross the street.
Jesus.
And so I just like flipped my lights on. He pulled over, gave him that butthole pucker effect, and I just kept
Bro, I would have pulled that dude over with no lights, just as a dick.
Well, one of the other patrols got him, but
yeah, I would have lost my mind just as a regular dude watching.
Yeah,
like some dude fucking almost hit some little girl here driving the kids to school, and he laughed. I drove right by him, and he laughed. No. Red light. Yeah. I got out of my car. I fucking punched his window. I said, "You better fucking wake up!" And the kid was like, "Oh fuck!" And my kid's like, "Why do you do that?" I was like, "I don't know. I feel like you were on the phone with me when I did some other dude." Bro, I feel like I feel like it's my place to sometimes, it's all of our place to put people in check that need it. And we're in this world where I think too many people think they can get away with shit. So it's you know what I mean? But we'll get to that later. Yeah. And so that's the significance of your career as a regular MP.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's MPs out there that like they've done so much more than me on the road, and like a lot of people don't. And I don't know if you, I'm sure you have, but a lot of people who aren't on the bases or are in the military don't understand the things that happen on base are equal or not greater to than off post. Like you would think, oh, it's a military installation, it's a little bit safer and quieter. Like, dude, I've known MPs that like when I was in Hawaii as a patrol supervisor, I worked a little bit there. There was like we would find dead babies in the ditch on base because parents wanted to go out in Hawaii and party and have that Hawaii life, and they leave the kids neglected. I found and I'm sorry for saying this, I found a glass dildo and a fucking butcher knife in a 1-year-old's crib. On post, and because the parents are like, there's like huge child neglect case. I mean, like there's crazy shit, and MPs have seen dead bodies all the time. So
humans are humans, right? You know, in the human culture right now, it's just fucking ugly, and that doesn't. There's no barriers between on a military installation or on a fucking down the street. Yeah, shitty people are everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
there's shitty dudes in the military. Sorry to tell you that. There is.
So I had a lot of respect for a lot of my younger MPs that saw more of this stuff than I did. But when we got downrange, we found out very quickly from when the war first kicked off in Iraq, where you're right, MPs did a lot of those convoy securities. They pulled extra security for route reconnaissance, surveillance, stuff like that. And then we watched Afghanistan kick off from the surge in 08, 09, and it was like our jobs changed differently. That's kind of what the book talks about as well.
Yeah. Well, give me some insight on what
So we found very quickly, like MP company, 150 to 80 soldiers will deploy. And then usually they would get attached to infantry units. And then whatever the infantry unit needed, essentially that whole platoon or company would go do and support that division.
So give me a breakdown on, so those who probably don't understand. So your platoon is broken down just like an infantry platoon? Is it like
a little bit bigger? A little bit bigger than you guys. I can't remember how many you guys roll in a platoon.
Well, it all depends, right? But we do have 4 squads usually, right? You have your first squad, second squad, third squad, fourth squad, and then each squad has an alpha team and Bravo team. Sometimes it depends on like think of a regular rifle unit. You'll have a fucking saw gunner, you'll have a fucking grenadier, you'll have another rifleman, you'll have the team leader, and fucking so each team consists of 4 or 5 dudes depending on how stacked your team is.
So you run a little bit differently. So we run normally a platoon is about 45 dudes. You have 3 squads, each squad containing 4 teams. Each team is each team is 3 dudes: a gunner, a driver, and a team leader. Essentially,
got it.
A little bit the same concept, but just broken down differently.
And so when you got attached to an infantry unit, did you keep your team together and then you pushed in, and so now you guys are an element of your own, or did they fully integrate you into the stack?
Both. I mean, we've done both, but essentially, so I've seen it to where my first deployment, they split all the squads up, and they took the platoon. We went to one base, and then once we got there, they were like, "Well, this infantry unit, and this infantry unit need each squad." So then we detached each squad down to the squad level, and it was like the squad leader was essentially the platoon sergeant and was running himself. Sorry, he was running himself. And the squad leader ran like a platoon sergeant. And so, like my squad was detached from Blessing. We went to Bostic, and we got attached to a cab unit.
From Blessing?
Yeah, from Blessing. That's where we originally started out at.
What's Blessing? Fob Blessing?
Fob Blessing, sorry. Yeah,
that's named after an Army Ranger.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
2nd Ranger Battalion, yeah.
Because it used to be Camp Blessing, and then when we got there, it was Fob Blessing.
Yeah, Blessing
I didn't know.
Is a Ranger.
Was it with your unit?
It passed before me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Jay Blessing, yeah. So when you get integrated with an infantry unit, do they right away start teaching you their tactics when it comes to entering clearing rooms? Do you guys have training in that already? Do you guys have like a fundamental basics of entering clearing rooms and how to do patrols and how to pretty much just do the infantry's mission?
Yeah, we have a pretty basic understanding. When we're not working the road, we go direct. Like I've had guys work the road on a garrison environment, have a day off, and then they'll go right into the field for 2 weeks. And it's just training. And we have our own like MP handbook, but we base a lot of our tactics off of the infantry handbook because we have to understand.
Blah blah blah. Yep.
Yeah, so we have to understand what the infantry does essentially.
Well, you guys are essentially, so then now, like me just putting it together in my head, you guys are essentially like a SWAT team, right?
We do have a SWAT. We have a SWAT school. It's called Special Reaction Team. And they have like basic entry. We have a whole entry team. They do ballistics, explosives for entering. They got march observer sniper teams.
Look at man, and when you break it down, an infantry squad is very similar, or an infantry team is very similar to a SWAT team. Like what I did outside, attached as a medic to a BORTAC team, it was very similar to what different mission, but very similar. I guess SOPs for when you enter and clear a room, to how you pull security, to freaking Overwatch. Everything else is almost exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
And so you guys already kind of had some kind of fundamental training in that, and then they just said, "Hey, here's the mission."
Yeah, we carry a lot of weaponry. Like I don't know what infantry guys carry, but I mean, you're talking each one of us. Every single MP carries an IMIL. Then you talk drivers and gunners 249 M4. So the gunner himself will have his 9mm, M4, M14 EBR, a 249, 50 cal, and then a crow or a what was it called, the little crow's nest swivel with a 240, 249, and then an AT4 small D on the back.
What just the fuck?
Just in the gunner's hatch, and then inside you had all your extra AT4s, small Ds, and explosive boom bags, stuff like that. So that's
way more than what we would normally carry.
Most of your guys are light, and you have to dismount everywhere.
Yeah, so we don't ever carry sidearms. That's like Delta would be the ones to start, and then our big gun team we'll have a sidearm.
Yeah.
But we have our fucking M4. I have 7, 8 mags, depending, right? And I also have the breaching stuff on my back, whether it comes, some kind of, I usually have 1 or 2 explosives on my back, and I put 1 or 2 on each of my fucking dudes' back so I can rip it off their back. I have all the initiators on my chest. This is as a team leader. Team leader or squad leader pretty much would be very similar. But besides that, I'll have maybe hand grenade, I'll have flashbangs, you know what I'm saying? And we're just moving from room to room to room. On my team, you'll have a saw gunner. He'll have his magazines depending on what he can run with in a comfortable state. We have our grenadier. He'll have a pretty good amount of rounds on him, because if we need him, he's going to be putting down some fucking hate.
Yep.
And then you got a couple other riflemen. And then when I first got to Ranger, I was a Gustav guy. So the first deployment, we would bring the Gustav with us if we needed it, right? It was kind of like that anti-ambush fucking weapon, you know what I mean? Or if shit's popping off from us from a distance, we can throw a round out there too. So it just depends. But yeah, we carry a lot less than what you guys did. But you guys are convoy more often.
We're more mobile. But there you go. But that's the thing we found out when we got in Afghanistan was we took our MP doctrine. We're like, we got all this ammunition. We're going to roll. And then they put us up in the mountains of Blessing and Bostik and the Kunar province area where it was not easy to maneuver mobile. And then it was like everything doctrine that we had used MPs got thrown out the door, and infantry was like, welcome to our world. And we had to decrease some of our weaponry, and we would drive a lot of the time. And the thing is that like Karzai, the president of Afghanistan, had like these 12 rules, Karzai 12. And essentially we couldn't do things as MPs without their police. And it was like everything was a joint patrol. So essentially we would just drive to the police station, and then everything was dismounted from there. And it was up the mountain, hump it up to elevation.
Then you couldn't carry all that shit.
No. So then it was like a light infantry at that point. But we'd still take AT4s and small.
Yeah. It's kind of like your whole team would choose on how you want to disperse that. And
And essentially it was like, because you guys had like you talked about 4 individuals, like say in a gun truck or a team.
Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
We had 3. And so we couldn't just leave our trucks unattended. So it's kind of fucked up, but we would have like drivers and TCs would all dismount, your squad leader dismount. And essentially you leave your gunners up in the trucks by themselves, and you would just battle lock everything from the inside so nobody could come up inside, throw a grenade in and do nothing. And so the gunners were just all in the truck, all by themselves, down the mountain 500-600 meters away.
Crazy.
Like, good luck. We're going to go up here with the police. And
that's scary.
So
we do a little different, but like, same understanding. And again, your mission was different than our mission. At the same time, there's a lot of similarities to it.
Yeah.
And in your time overseas, I mean, I've seen your little fruit basket on your chest when it comes to some of your pictures, and you've had some, ups and downs in deployments, and what drove you to writing this book, and why? Like, what's the inspiration for it?
So I've had a lot of mentors in my career that is like, bro, you got to write a book. And I kind of, at the time I took it as a compliment. but I was just like, no, I'm not. That's not what I want to do. Like, I don't like that vulnerable state. I've seen a lot of haters. I've seen a lot of this and that. I don't feel like put myself out there. But people talked about how I had a very abnormal career. Like I said, I'd never worked patrol, in a garrison environment. And when I got to Afghanistan the first time, because prior to the surge at all the major installations, Bragg, Carson, Hood, all these places used to have an EMT school. And on the installation, essentially you went through 68 Whiskey's AIT in a month and a half time frame. And you worked in the ER and the paramedics on the weekends. And it was just 7 days a week. And you just powered through, and then you got nationally certified. So because I did that's what I did before the first deployment. When I got to Afghanistan and they started splitting our squads up with all these infantry guys, well, we only have one platoon medic, and he had to stay with one. So it was just like, hey, you got EMT? It's good enough for us. You're a medic. And I'm like, no, I'm an MP. Like,
so you became essentially a dubbed medic.
Yeah. And so I would have, and it wasn't like a primary combat lifesaver. Like, they gave me scrubs, and I would work in the forward surgical team's aid station when I was not on mission, or we came off mission. I'd pull duty in the aid station. I had Thursday night study sessions. I had to be issued morphine like it was a sensitive item. Like, it was the works. So
yeah, dude. So it's funny. So Ranger Battalion, I did my EMT before the military, got in, and they knew about that. I told them, like, hey, I have experience with the medical side. And so I ended up doing a lot of volunteer stuff, but like in Afghanistan, it was same. If we did some kind of lab, I was there. The days that I wasn't on mission, I was working in the cache, and I was doing any kind of like dudes that show up fucked up. Right. And so I'd be working on, I remember a special forces dude showed up, and he walked in like, oh shit. I'm like, you get shot? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, let me see. And he showed, it's a through and through. And I was like, where's your medic? He's like, I am the medic. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Right. So we went and did the x-rays and everything else. And it was just like the fucking best shot in the world. Honestly, he got lucky.
I seen that as well. I saw that from a SEAL. He came in with a sucking chest wound, and he just wanted something to eat. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, it was the craziest thing I ever seen.
Yeah. And actually that's what inspired me to get out and go into the medical field more. And that's why I was a medic for the for BORTAC in Border Patrol, because I was like, man, I've done the cool guy shit.
Those guys are badass.
As a shooter. Oh, dude.
I was down at the border when that all kicked off as a platoon sergeant. My platoon went down there, and we were building the wall. And I worked with those guys, and they're fucking badass. Yeah, bro. It was a good time, man. It was a good time to be a fucking medic for those dudes and help, kind of change the SOPs for them. They were real uncomfortable with having medics. And I'm like, yo, every fucking tactical team has a medic, bro. Like, you guys are no different. Like, what we do in combat should be the learning lessons of what the Border Patrol and SWAT teams and everyone else uses. And every SWAT team has a medic. And for some reason, the Border Patrol was late to that idea or that concept. And it was just these hard-headed dudes who think fucking being badass fucking SWAT dudes didn't need it. And it proved costly for them several times. And so that's why they slowly started to integrate the medical side and respect what a combat medic is for a team like that. It's essential. Yeah. Well, shit, I seen you have a Purple Heart, man. Is that that's a part of a big mission for you, or I don't know how to bring that into the conversation. Oh yeah, no, I don't get sensitive over all that stuff. So I've talked about this stuff for years, and that was one thing I talk about in the book, because again, the book is like, I'm not fucking. And that's what I don't want to hit. I don't want to hit all the book because of that, right? Yeah. Like, you want people to read it, but I also don't want people to think that, like, I'm not General Mattis, I'm not Petraeus, I'm not trying to integrate some leadership philosophy that you don't already know. All the book is, hey, bro, this is what happened to me, and I'm trying to show you my vulnerable state. This is what worked for me. And so, like, speaking of that, like, my NCOs, when I came to my first duty station at Carson, they were very open about their experiences in Iraq, and it helped them cope with it. At the same time, give me their lessons learned. And so when I found myself in Afghanistan, I could be like, man, I remember Sergeant Ring said he did this, and this when he was in Iraq. Yeah. War doesn't change. The battlefield changes, the terrain changes, but war itself won't change. And so I applied what my NCOs taught me to Afghanistan. And so that same concept was in my mind when I got back from my deployments, that I can't be quiet about this. Like, I have to teach others my experiences. So when the next shit pops off, whoever that is with, at least my soldiers can use my experience to their advantage, essentially. Yeah. So I've always been very open about talking about what happened. It's not like a sensitive subject for me, like it may be for others. Yeah. But that's just because I put myself in that vulnerable state a long time ago. But the Purple Heart and the first Bronze Star Valor was from chapter 5 in the book. It's a very major battle. I think you're pretty good friends with Romache.
Yeah.
So Romache, I was in his unit. I was in 361 Cav. That's who we got attached to at 5 Bostic. And essentially what I went through in chapter 5 of the book, Lieutenant Parton was my lieutenant. He was a Cav lieutenant. He was the platoon we got attached to, and essentially they took care of us and everything. And it was the same Cav unit, 361 Cav. And what we went through was a prelude to Cop Keating. It was exactly almost less than a month before Cop Keating got overran, and maybe 10 miles south of it. So all the enemy fighters were moving into the location. They kind of used that day. They used essentially to try to cut off LT and his platoon, and we became the rescue squad to come up there. They used that day as practice to then move into Cop Keating just north of us.
Damn.
So it was just a prelude to all that stuff.
Yeah, fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. And you got to do medical. You did your job as on the medic side of things.
Yep.
And it, and the book is called Ghost of the Valley. We've been talking about it, but you can find it on Amazon. I think it's real cool to think about how many MPs join the military not knowing what they're going to get into, and then hearing your story and saying, holy shit. And it's kind of a testament to kind of prepare for everything, right? Or just be ready, because you never know when your job as an MP turns into just straight up combat guy doing whatever fucking you have to survive, to help others survive. It's part of, the basic training motto in military is teach them all the basics to understand it all, because you never know when it gets to that point.
Yeah.
But luckily you had enough training and experience to put yourself in a position of trying to be the best version of you in combat, and not like the MP who, you know what I mean? Because these guys, if you have the mindset of like, oh, I'm just going to be an MP, it's no big deal. Like, no, motherfucker, you're potentially going to combat, and you're going to be the needs of the army. And your time, Sean, it was needs of the army turned into you're a combat dude through and through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing is not medics. MPs are listed as combat support, MOS. But at a drop of a dime, they can remove that support little word, and then they implement you in a combat. And things like what I experienced in the war. Now today, I'm at Fort Leonard Wood now, right? And at Fort Leonard Wood, this is the home of the MP world. And it's our commandant and everyone's here.
Instruction, right? It's where they do the instructing?
Yeah, it's where they do instructing. They do basic training. This is where our commandant, our regimental sergeant major is at. And so recently, like I'm talking about like within the past year, but the past couple months, they've been deeply talking about because of all these events that have happened, and they've figured out MPs can do two sides of things. They're restructuring how MPs work now and our doctrine, and they're actually going to start taking away MP companies and battalions and like completely just get rid of the units, and they're going to take us and put us in the division. So when the division gets activated, it's like I am the 4th Infantry Division MPs, and it's like we go, and we're going to wear the division patch, and it's like the brigades are going to go away for us.
Yeah. Well, it becomes like, there's field and garrison, and we have the same in the Ranger Battalion. It's like in field mode, we kind of just like, it's time to work. In garrison, in the Ranger Battalion, it's like spit shine boots and fucking creased fucking uniform and looking appropriate. And so it's this funny, like, field and garrison, there's two different kinds of rangers sometimes. Like the garrison dudes are good at looking sharp and knowing DNC and fucking all the fucking bullshit. Like the field guys, we just want to go to war. Like I suck in garrison. I don't want to shine my boots. I don't want to have a nice haircut. I just want to go to fucking war. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's the same thing as like the MPs now have a very similar aspect where it's like the garrison side of it is one side of the MPs, but the war side, right? The field side, it's a fucking multi-layered fucking system where you can be right there running and gunning with anyone else, or you can just be doing combat security, or you can just go in gate guard, regular fucking, basic MP shit. Yeah. And which to me, now looking back, is like, what an interesting fucking job that could be in the future, what that turns into now, right? In the military. Infantry dude is an infantry dude. An MP guy can be fucking multiple different fucking avenues, and which is pretty cool. And it's the first time I've ever thought of it, right? When reading, I was reading some of your book, and I was also reading like if you go and just read about the book, you're gonna be like, oh, I've never heard the details of that. Like I've never thought of that. You know what I mean? Which is pretty exciting. I think it's pretty cool for just the community of MPs.
Yeah, and that's what they did my second deployment as well. They essentially, I had the SRT school. We talked about that special reaction team, and essentially, I got back to the second deployment. Our medic was having triplets. They sent him home. I became the medic again as a team leader. They gave me an additional soldier, so I had 3 just for my gun truck, and then they gave me an M14 EBR. attached me to a recon platoon, infantry recon platoon out of 25th ID. They taught me everything I needed to know, like they didn't already know, things that I don't have the knowledge on, as far as like being a little more proficient in windage, stalking, and sniper precision, counter sniper, stuff like that, especially with the hills that we were firing in, how to adjust for elevation when you're shooting up at them, and different stuff like that. And so they were teaching me that stuff. And then essentially they were just like, here's your additional soldier, here's your sniper rifle, your gun truck will drive, driver and gunner will stay in truck, you'll take your third soldier, and then you'll go do counter sniper on the border of Pakistan and do what you need to do. So it was just like, I'm a fucking MP. Like, what happened to the whole handcuffs thing? And it just
So and now all of a sudden now you're doing counter snipering, and you have to understand windage, distance, elevation. You have to have your spotter figured out for you, and you guys are like, "Well, fuck it, we're learning on the job."
Yeah. So I've been blessed, man. I really have. Like, the Army's given me some great opportunities. So I can't complain. It's really been fun.
Well, I'm excited to get through this fucking book now, dude. You know, and my life is so fucking busy, and we've been talking about from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, dude, send it and fucking like keep going and trying to support every fucking veteran I can. But you're one of the dudes that I'm like, oh, dude, I really like what you're doing. And so I've been, you know, I have that book it's on my nightstand, legit, on my fucking nightstand. There's no other book in my fucking room right now. I just got to get my fucking ass to do it. I'm heading to LA here soon, and I'm going to have a lot of time. And that's the book I'm taking with me on set, and I'll be reading it. And then I'll be passing around to the fucking dudes on my ends, because they like to read some of the guys really like to hear the inside of fucking the veteran world. And
are you going to go out to LA and film another season or something?
Yeah, I am, dude. This is the first time I'm saying it. Yeah.
You gotta take, oh, you are. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You gotta take a picture of the book next to some In-N-Out for me. Oh,
bro, for sure.
I miss In-N-Out. Fuck.
And I'll take a picture of it next to my Mayans cut as well.
All right, cool.
Well, shit, dude. Tell me where they can find you. Tell me where they can find your book, and fucking, you know, anything else you want to say to the fucking people, bro.
Yeah.
I have 2 listeners, so they're very excited about this.
So on Facebook, you can find me at Tobiaz Ambriz. Instagram is Chief Pink Mist _ Pink Mist. You can find the book on Nook, Kindle, Amazon, and we are almost finished with an audio, which is going to be different. I was very inspired by Red Platoon and Romashay's book.
My God.
I loved his book. I loved the guy who read his audio book.
My God.
It was amazing.
And next time you have an audiobook, I have a dude too that's really dope. Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm going to use for the rest forever. So I'll get you his information next time too.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking Red Platoon was
amazing. So a Red Platoon inspired my audiobook to do something a little different. So my publisher hired a guy to do the audiobook. I wish I would have known about yours, but he already hired this guy. He's good. He's got a good voice and everything. And what we did was, you know how like in my book, there's like, you're reading and there's like italicized versions. It was like my internal thoughts in that moment. What I did was I went to a recording studio over here and I recorded all those lines. And so the narrator's going to read the book. And then when my internal thoughts come in, you'll actually hear my voice. So it's like a double narrator thing that hasn't really been done before. So
yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's, you know, I like. Did you ever listen to David Goggins' book?
No, but someone is actually going to send that to me.
I liked his audiobook. The audiobook because it was like a podcast.
Oh,
so the narrator read his chapter and then stopped when they had questions, and he dug deeper into it. And I think it's a cool way of doing it because it's more of an interactive style book now.
Yeah.
And the questions that you're probably having as a reader and getting to hear the answer from the writer, I think,
that's badass.
Yeah, from the person whose story it is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's fucking go good. Yeah, so let me know when that's out too, and go ahead.
Yeah, but I just want to say thank you for having me on. I hope this book helps someone. I hope that we continue to, I know you and I share the same visions as far as like the veteran community. So I hope we keep powering through that. Like I said, this book is just a base foundation platform. It's not the tell-all. Hopefully for myself, because I mean, you've been in this industry, you've been doing this for years since you've been out. This is like my first thing, but hopefully this is a good foundation to the beginning of how I could continue to give back.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
and work with veterans.
So. Right. We're working with veterans. I appreciate what you're doing there. And when we can show the world what we're doing, I think it's going to be huge impacts on people.
Yeah.
But if you get one fucking message from someone saying like your book inspired them and motivated them, that's all. Trust me. That's all it is.
Yeah.
When you start getting that shit, nothing's fucking more motivating. It's better than a cup of coffee in the morning, dude. I tell you. So keep doing your thing. And as long as your heart's in the right place and you keep telling that story, I think vulnerability is huge in our community. You know what I mean? And I say community as in like combat dudes.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is important. It's one, good for us, one for healing, and two, for others to hear the truth of like, oh fuck, it's okay to have that feeling. It's okay to feel a certain way. It's okay to doubt, to question, to have insecurities, to all those things, you know what I mean? But when you have an ego, it doesn't allow you to feel that, you know, and that ego is what kills a lot of our guys, I think, because they're not accepting that we can have emotions and we can struggle.
And they don't ask those questions that leads to suicide because they just let that shit bottle up. And I tell them, like, you can't, and I talk about this in the book a tiny bit. I talk about how, like, those thoughts that you have, like, and I found this my first deployment. I was dealing with a lot of those casualties, and I was kind of accepting that a lot of them that weren't making it were my fault. And even though it really wasn't, but it's what I was telling myself. And I was just like, push that shit off to the side. And I realized that all I did was plant a seed. And the longer I let it sit there, that thing was going to outgrow something I could not deal with. And so, you know, a lot of those guys, hopefully they don't let that seed grow into something too big that can't be dealt with. So, especially at a time like this when there's a lot of fucking quarantine and we're not allowed to hang out with our friends and give ourselves that moment to debrief and all the other things, right? Like, I think ego's our biggest killer. Ego kills, and literally fucking kills dudes because they can't accept the fact that they're human. We're fucking human, dude. And we fuck up, or we hold on to shit that probably shouldn't, and we feel guilty. You know, I felt guilty for years, right? That I was injured before a deployment I couldn't go on where Sergeant Braz and Brim were killed. And I felt guilty for years that, like, if I didn't tell the doctor, if I just fucking showed up, I'm a big dude, I could have taken those rounds on the chest myself. I would have went into that room with them. All these things like fucking piled up. Fucking it ate me inside, and why I became this drinking fucking idiot and allowed my life to kind of get out of control was because of the guilt that I let fester. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And a lot of guys do it, and it's fucking up to guys like me and you to be open, to be honest, to be vulnerable, allow guys to hear the insecurities, like openly hear, I'm insecure about this, I'm weak about this, or I need help in this, and to accept that. Guys like you and me have to be the voice of that, because if we're not, who the fuck is?
Yeah.
Then everyone's eating their own brain. So I love the fact that you're out there. I love the fact that what you're doing. And I love the fact that we've teamed up and fucking going to continue to try and do some dope ass shit. And I love the fact that you're from LA, motherfucker. What's up?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, I'll be in LA for the next couple of months. If you're there, let me know. If you can take some time off work, let me know.
Bro, I can't even get outside a 100-mile radius still over here. It's all still locked down.
Oh, it's all locked down. Well, either way, dude, fucking hit me up. You know, just shoot me a text tomorrow sometime. I'm going to get this to the editor, and we're going to fucking make this happen. Thanks for being on, brother.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
Later, man.
I took the blow.